Hi, and welcome to the first episode of Daisy TV. I'm so excited to be doing this program. It's really just an extension of the Daisy Infusion website, and so I hope you find all that same good stuff here in this episode of Daisy TV. We are going to be answering some mail out of Dear Daisy's mailbag. We have an incredible interview with the very inspired photographer Natasha Johnson, and we're going to be doing a little segment to wrap it all up called What Would You Do If You Weren't Afraid? With that in mind, let's go ahead and get started with a letter to Dear Daisy. This letter came via email, and I wrote it out here so I could read to you. The letter starts out, Dear Daisy, I recently lost a lot of weight. I ate less, moved more, and I am almost to my goal weight. Even though I can see the changes, and even though I have others complimenting me and congratulating me on my success, the voices in my head keep telling me that I'm fat. What can I do? Sincerely, Fat Daka. Well, the most important thing is that you feel good about yourself. There's a couple ways to do that. One is to see yourself the way others do. You know, when other people are looking at you right now, they are seeing your accomplishment and they are admiring what you've been able to do. Losing weight isn't an easy journey, and I imagine that you have been an inspiration to many people. So first, see yourself the way others see you. And now people will say, oh, it's about how you feel about yourself. Well, certainly it is. Your subconscious mind has spent years probably poisoning you with those negative thoughts. Probably telling you when you walk into the room, oh, you're the fattest person here. You're so fat you don't deserve to be happy. You're so fat you shouldn't be eating that food. I understand voices like that. But let me tell you this, those voices are absolutely wrong. Somewhere in your lifetime, the world around you, society, convinced you that there was something wrong with you. And unfortunately, the subconscious mind is a lot like programming in a computer. The programming in a computer dictates how the computer is going to run. And that's a lot like our subconscious mind. But I want to tell you this too, is that just like a computer has bugs and viruses, and we can get rid of them with programs, we can get rid of those bugs and viruses that are part of your subconscious mind. And that's those voices, those negative voices that tell you that there's something wrong with you, even though you've accomplished these great and wonderful things. And in this case, we're talking about weight loss, but it could be any issue. Those voices of self-doubt, those voices that tell you you're not good enough, that no matter what you've done, you still have to do more. We can reprogram those voices to be positive, supportive, and encouraging. So let's change that programming. Let's reframe how we think and change how our subconscious mind operates. So we're going to fight those bugs and viruses by inputting new programming. So I want everybody to try this. So close your eyes. Go ahead, close your eyes. I'm not going to be doing anything spectacular up here while your eyes are closed. What I want you to do now is just repeat after me. And you may be saying these things, but in your head you don't believe it. Well, I'm going to tell you this too. You start saying these things, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. But if you say them enough, eventually your subconscious mind is going to believe it. And then you will believe it. So, close your eyes. And I I want you to repeat after me. I choose health. My body reflects those healthy decisions. I am an inspiration to others. I am good enough just as I am. I recognize my achievements. I love myself. I deserve happiness. Okay, now open your eyes. And just remember, the more you say these things to yourself, the more you feed in the positive, the more the positive is going to come to the surface. It's true. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to feel good about yourself. Give that to yourself as a reward for all your work. You deserve to enjoy this moment in your life. Revel in the accomplishments. Do the happy dance. Just give yourself that joy. Give that gift to yourself. You deserve that goodness. Be kind to yourself. Speak positive words about yourself. And you'll see just how effective your reprogramming can be. So that's Daisy's mailbag. If you have any question or concern that you would like to have Daisy respond to or answer, just go ahead and send a note to Dear Daisy at Daisy Infusion on the website or on the Facebook page, and Daisy will answer you soon. About a week ago, I had a chance to sit down with Natasha Johnson from Natasha Johnson Photography and talk to her about her passion and how she turned her passion into her career. Here's the interview. Hi, we are sitting here with Natasha Johnson from Bird Island, Minnesota. Natasha is the owner of Natasha Johnson Photography, and she has made her passion her career, and that is why we're talking to her today. So, Natasha, thank you for coming on my program. And tell me, when did you first know that photography was your thing?
My 10th grade year and 11th grade year, I was signed up through college already to get on the waiting list because that was a 2-year waiting list.
To get into college. And where did you go to college?
Bridgewater.
In
Wilmer.
In Wilmer. And how long of a course did you take?
2 years.
So a 2-year course. And in that course, what do you feel was the most valuable lesson you learned?
There's so many. To treat each other as family in the photography industry and help each other out so we can better each other rather than try to beat each other.
You know, that's really cool because that's one thing I noticed about your Facebook page is that there are a bunch of other photographers that you promote, or there's pictures, like they take pictures of you, you take pictures of them, and I see that on Facebook, and I think that's cool that you mentioned that you guys can actually help each other rather than compete against each other. And did you always think of photography as a career, or did it start out as a hobby?
Actually, for it to become a career, I think it needs to be a passion first. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't have a passion, then you won't have that drive to make it into a career.
So what was the one incident, you said 10th grade, what was the one incident that made you go, aha, this is it? I mean, that's a young age to know this is what I want to do the rest of my life.
I enjoyed capturing moments for other people and making them smile.
Yeah.
Like freezing their time, and then they'll always have that image, whether it's digital or on a piece of paper to remember it.
You capture graduations, you capture families and babies and pregnancy pictures, and today you said ooh la la pictures, and those are really
they're risque.
Yeah,
yep.
They're like presents that you give to your loved one.
Yep.
Yeah, and so you really do so many different types of photography.
Yep.
What is your personal favorite?
Probably starting with maternity, because it's a miracle. Pregnancy is a miracle, and to be able to put it on paper for somebody, or like if it's digital, and then capture that for them. Because I didn't have that for my first child, because I had him early. But that is turning into be one of my favorites, along with children's photography.
And tell us now about your two favorite subjects. Now that you've mentioned children, tell us about your two favorite subjects.
Honestly, children obviously are one of my favorites, like I said, but I also like to do elderly, the proper way of saying it, because they have so much of a story to tell. And
so, when do you sometimes just take pictures for the sake of taking pictures and not necessarily doing a photo shoot? And is that sometimes when you capture the elderly, or do you have senior citizens who say, absolutely, come and do a photo shoot with us?
I've actually done a few grandparents where they just wanted an image of themselves done for Christmas or just to hand out birthdays, whatever. So I've done that, but otherwise, like through weddings and graduations and church events that I've done and volunteered for and things like that, I've captured those moments to that too. So it's not always on a working schedule.
One thing that I really notice when I go through your photography is how you capture the essence of a family. And it's more than just taking a posed photograph. Even though you're very good at that, I had an opportunity just this afternoon to have family photos taken with Natasha, so I really got to see firsthand how she makes that magic happen. And it was exciting for me because I've looked at other family photos that she's taken, and every time I've looked at her family photos, I've thought, man, that's more than just a picture of a family. I really feel like you capture the essence of a family, the fun, the tender moments, and I saw you helping us do that today. So that was pretty exciting.
You have to get to know your family.
Yeah.
You can't just see it as, that's why I say the passion has to be there. You have to get to know your people. Because if you're not creating that relationship with them, then your photos are just blah.
Of all the thousands and thousands of pictures that you've taken, if you had to pick just one photograph that you really love, that it's like, here it is, here's my very favorite photograph that I've taken, what photograph would that be?
My memory still goes back to, I took a photo of a tree by a field, and I did it for school, and I called it Field of Dreams, because it just kind of captured my dreams. Her two favorite models are her children, and she just has the most beautiful pictures of her kids. And as we're talking here, you'll be seeing some of the photographs that she has taken, and you can see just how lovely and adorable her family is. Now, there's also, you mentioned the tree, the Field of Dreams. So there's this whole, aside from taking pictures of people, there's this whole artistic side of your passion that you do. And tell me how that all works for you. Like when like you're just living your everyday life, and then you say, oh, I've got to take a picture of that. And tell me about how that happens. As a photographer, you're telling a story of your life also, and someday my kids are going to go through my millions of photos, and they're going to see, obviously, my work, my people, but they're going to see my creative side too, and they're going to be able to read my story through my images. So if I see something that just hits me, it just hits my heart in a way. It makes me happy. I'll take it, and most of the time, taking an artistic one and taking it for someone else too, because I'm doing it for them. I know they're going to enjoy it. And
this afternoon, you took a shot, after we were done with all our photography, you took a shot of the sky. And it astounded me that I had been looking at that same sky, I had been looking in the same direction, and I did not see what Natasha was able to look out and see. And I really think photographers have a true knack of being able to capture things that most people don't take the time to see. And hopefully you'll allow me to share that picture, because it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And I have to share also that one of your very beautiful pictures that I love personally, of course, is one that you took of my son when he was, I believe, 2, maybe getting close to 3. And actually in that photo session there were 2 photos. One was of Nate holding up a frame and looking through it, which I loved because it talked to me of all the possibilities this little boy had. Like, here's my picture, and then watch me emerge. And so it was like I thought it was like a picture of him saying, "Look out, world, here I come." And in that same photo session, you took a picture of his back, and it like showed the small, little, meek part of him that is always going to need his mommy. and so pictures, you're able to capture very, very personal things, and I am sure that your customers, the people who come to you to do that, recognize that and see it. So we need to wrap this up here. Natasha, if you could offer one piece of advice to someone who wants to pursue photography as a career or as a hobby, what would that one piece of advice be?
Do it, because no matter what, you're going to love it, and if it doesn't end up being a career, that's okay, because most likely you'll still want to do it if you have a passion and love for it, and you're going to reach out to somebody through your very own eyes and heart. So for some reason, God's putting you on that path, and He wants you to do something through your eyes for someone else.
So there you have it. Just do it. Go out into the world and do what it is you are meant to do. Natasha Johnson from Natasha Johnson Photography, Bird Island, Minnesota, has done that. And you can find links to her in the Link-a-Dink-a-Doo section on the web page. So check out the rest of her work. Go visit her on Facebook, and if you need an excellent photo taken, this would be the girl to call. Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you.
What would you do if you weren't afraid? That phrase comes from a very popular management book called Who Moved My Cheese? And the concept was introduced to me by my brother Dave, years and years and years ago. And it's something that's always stuck with me. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Fear really holds most of us back from doing what it is we're meant to do, from achieving the goals that we feel in our heart and in our mind. So I decided to add a segment called just that, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And in tonight's segment, I really want to highlight the life of a very young girl who has believed in herself enough to change the lives of many people in this world. I'm sure you've heard about her in the news. Her name is Malala Yousafzai. Malala was born in 1997. She's an education activist from a northwestern province in Pakistan. She's known for her activism rights for education and for women, especially in the Swat Valley, where the Taliban has at times banned girls from attending school. In 2009, at the age of 11, Malala wrote a blog under a pseudonym for the BBC detailing her life under Taliban rule. and their attempts to take control of the valley, and her views on promoting education for girls. In 2012, Malala was shot in the head and neck in an assassination attempt by Taliban gunmen while returning home on a school bus. In the days immediately following the attack, she remained unconscious and in critical condition. But later, her condition improved enough for her to be sent to England for intensive rehabilitation. She was the winner of Pakistan's first National Youth Peace Prize and was nominated for the 2013 Nobel Peace Prize. I have a short clip for you to watch of Malala addressing an audience concerning education.
I hope that governments and all responsible people would realize that we cannot end war with a war. We can fight war through dialogue, peace, and education. We ask the governments and the responsible people, if you want to see peace in Syria, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, if you want to end the war, if you want to fight against the war, then instead of sending guns, send books. Instead of sending soldiers, send teachers. And instead of sending guns, send pens. Fight terrorism through education. And let me remind you once again that one book, one pen, and one teacher can change the world.
At such a young age, this girl and her belief in education took her to places most of us can never imagine. Up against the Taliban, she has made a tremendous impact in so many people's lives. One little girl. She's made a huge difference to so many people, despite the fear and the obstacles she must have faced. So one very young girl who made a huge difference in many people's lives. Of course, her journey is her own, and we can't all go off to fight the Taliban. But we all can make a difference. One person can make a difference. And maybe, just maybe, Malala's story will inspire each of us to go out in the world and do what it is we're meant to do. So there you have it, the first episode of Daisy TV. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions for this program or the website, please feel free to email me. Until soon, my friends.